Yep.
You
A
know,
high
yeah.
rise. We're alive. Yep. What's up, guys? It is your girl, Sarah from Sarah's House, here with Rebecca from Florida. I had another mom on, but as happens in mom life, something came up and she is not able to join us. So, me and Rebecca are going to talk about reselling as moms. We both are resellers. We both have children that we try and balance both of them together. And I posted on my Instagram today, if you guys saw, Lori Boston Fines told me if wait, I'm going to say it wrong. If you want something done, find the busiest person in the room to do it, or something to that extent. And it's true. Like somehow we find ways to get things done in small amounts of time with children. I mean, managing life with children and trying to resell, I always get good tips out of these sessions. So as we wait for people to pop on, I'm going to let Rebecca, she's been on the channel before. So if you already know who she is, just say hello. And if she is new to you, just I'll let you introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you, what you sell on. She helps me with eBay a lot too. She's one of my eBay go-tos. So tell us a little bit about what you sell, where you're on, how old your kids are, just a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so hi, I'm Rebecca. I live in Florida, obviously. Tried to brand myself from the beginning pretty easily. I'm Rebecca from Florida, but FL on Instagram, just FL on Poshmark. eBay is the whole thing. Mercari might be the whole thing. Either way. My kids are 5. I have 2 twin boys who are 5 years old. They're fraternal, and they've been out of school since March, just like most of the world at this point.
Were they kindergartners or were they preschool still?
So in Florida, we have a free preschool program that starts at age 4. So they were doing full day preschool through the school district.
That's nice. Because so me and Rebecca, we know each other, I'd say pretty well now. But I also have a 5-year-old and they're like 2 months apart and she's preschool, but she's October. And in Colorado, it's like, had she been born 30 days before, she would have been in kindergarten. And so it was weird when they like stopped all of the school because she didn't technically have remote learning because she wasn't like, you don't have to go to preschool in Colorado. And so they didn't give her any work, like, which was good. But then it was also like, well, now I have a 5-year-old home and like nothing for
So
her
it's
to do.
optional here too. It's technically called voluntary pre-K, but since it's through the county, they did give us some online schooling that it's again optional, but it was a morning meeting is nice.
Yes, that's nice. And did they like to do it or was it like a hassle?
No, they like to do it. They like learning. They think it's fun and they enjoyed it. I didn't give them any technology. So all of a sudden they're like, oh, we get to go on an iPad. We have a Chromebook. We get to watch YouTube. It kind of opened up their world a little more than I had opened it for them previously. So they like that.
I find my daughter, so preschool here is, it's optional, but a lot of the schools have it. And then in some counties it's free. And she goes to preschool in a public school. But because it's not mandatory, they didn't have, like, it took us a couple of weeks before the teacher set something up for her and then started sending her stuff. But it was the same thing, like, oh, my teacher's on YouTube. Like, I would ask her to do something, she wouldn't do it. But then my teacher is sending me a video to do something. And she still asks for it now, like in the summer. Can I watch the video? I'm like, sure.
Keep going. They don't know when school ended. So they're never going to know that school ended. School never ended.
They don't get summer breaks.
We can't go anywhere.
I know. And that's that's a valid point for moms that are reselling. In the summer, and tell me if you're finding the same issue. In the summer, I would usually like work a little bit and then we'd go to the zoo or like we'd have like, I don't want to say a bribery, but like, let me get some work done and then we will go do this. And now we don't have this to go do. Right? Are you finding the same?
I mean, I solved that problem by getting Disney Plus. Like, I'm not even joking. I didn't know what else to do. I wasn't getting anything done before Disney Plus. And I felt bad putting my kids in front of a movie, but at the same time, like when they go back to, real school, they're not going to be watching movies on a daily basis. And
and it is summer vacation.
Yeah, exactly.
Do they play well together?
Yes, thank goodness. Yeah.
So they'll play because I have a 3 and a 5-year-old, and they'll play together pretty well for the morning. Fairly often, like, yeah, was it yesterday? The 5-year-old came in fussing, and as a mom, you're like half hear it because they cry all the time, and you're like, go figure it out. And so I did that, and then I looked down, and she's like gushing blood because he had thrown a toy at her nose. And so I was like, all right, I guess I got to like take care of this one. But for the most part, the 3 and the 5-year-old play well together. But I was wondering if the twins like bickered or if they did well together.
They definitely bicker. And yesterday, I don't know if it was a full moon or something, but they were a mess. But today they were much better. It was a nicer day.
Nice. All right. Well, let me check in with everybody in the chat and then we'll get into it. If you guys have specific questions as well, I do find that moms tend to have the most efficient ways to get things done because they have limited amounts of time. So we'll get into Rebecca ways that she gets things done. I feel like I tell you guys too, but I'll chat as well since we were supposed to have someone else. How have your sales been going? Duncan, they've actually been really good. Last week was kind of slow. It's starting to pick up. Are you noticing? How are your things going, Rebecca?
Mine are hit or miss. They're kind of all over the place. But I'm in this for the long game, not the short game. So I'm just kind of going with the flow. I had a really good month, I guess, at the beginning of COVID. That time was really good for me. And when people got their stimulus checks. So I'm okay with the little bits of ups and downs, but they're picking up. Last week was bad, but they're picking up.
Yeah, I noticed the same thing too. And I've heard, so I haven't been on eBay for a full year, so you can speak to this. I've heard June on eBay is usually just not great.
Summer is not, summer is not the best. And then just this time is, I'm kind of I had planned on, and I still kind of am using my summer, especially with eBay, to just okay, this thing is coming up this item's coming up, and I need to just take 1 or 2 more photos, a better photo. So I pull the item. I did that this morning, took a couple photos, shoved the item back away and relisted it.
You're good about that. Once I take pictures, I'm like, nope, I'm done.
It was an old item. It was something that needed to be redone.
Yeah. Well, I wonder, are you noticing things are selling once you take better pictures of them?
Yeah, actually. And I took a cue from you. I know this isn't you, and actually Breezy Von Breezy does this well. And I've noticed some other Instagrammers who are doing this, who are taking their own photos, modeling as much as they can. And I feel like modeling my own photos, first of all, makes taking the photos way more fun. And second, I think I'm selling more, and I'm selling faster.
Yeah. What kind of, so this is a valid point, not necessarily the conversation I had, but let's talk about it. I go back and forth because it takes me a little bit longer to model them than if I just do a quick flat lay. And so I go back and forth. I've actually been doing less modeled photos, and I find it's harder. I used to do it when I had a sitter and I had 2 hours by myself and I didn't have a kid. And now I have a 3-year-old that will come in and touch me with peanut butter on his hands. And I'm like, do not touch me, my vintage $100 dress, don't touch me. And so it's harder for me to find time to model, but I do think the stuff that I did model was doing better. Are you how are you deciding what you're modeling?
I'm a really small, petite person, and I don't have a lot of curves. So I'm modeling whatever fits me. That's really how I'm deciding. And then I'm trying to pull things and push things. So if it fits me, I'm modeling it. I don't enjoy taking photos. So I don't enjoy doing flat lays. I don't think my stuff looks as good. I'm trying to get cues from other people. And then I feel like a mannequin looks fine, but sometimes just a person's body, with real
to see how it,
it just looks good. So if it fits me, I'm trying to model it.
Get some clips too, because I saw my sister-in-law this weekend, and she was like, I was looking at your closet, and you're not a size small or a size large. She's like, you model all of these sizes. And I was like, yeah, but the size small, can you see the back of the dress?
No,
and she's like, no. And I was like, yeah, because it didn't zip. And half the time it doesn't go over my hips. You could just see the weird.
It's funny because I am a petite person, but there are still some items I can't zip up. And I'm like, all right, I'm still going to just shove myself in this, and I'm not going to zip it up. But yeah, I think.
Well, you can get some clips too. So if there's larger sizes, you can get clips to clip it.
Well,
Because I do that a lot.
because I'm not very like voluptuous on top, so it seems like the stuff on top is looser. So actually, if anyone who's watching this has any tips on how to model a larger size when you're a smaller chested woman, that would be a really interesting.
That's Mish Market. Do you follow her? She's
Yeah.
a vintage seller as well. She models a lot of her stuff, and I had her on, and she was saying that she had the same issue. Because I had her on. I had her on with Breezy Braun Breezy, and me and Breezy are both kind of like, I don't know what the term, full figured, curvy, whatever it is. Like we both have booties and whatever. But she said that she had the opposite issue, and so I don't remember. I had her on for a vintage panel. You can watch it or just send her. She's really nice.
Send her a DM. Yeah.
Because and I find definitely vintage. I will absolutely model vintage because otherwise it just looks old.
Yeah.
Right. Like there's other things that I'm like, you can tell this like Nike shirt, you're looking for the specific, you already know what it feels like and what it is going to look like. But vintage for sure, I do. I'm trying to find maybe like a price point. I don't know. I go back and forth.
I know that's what you want to do, but I am more like, I just don't like photographing. So I'm enjoying it at the moment. And at some point, like I won't model that cheapy item, but
yeah,
I toss on a top and take 2 pictures and take it off and put the next thing on.
But it does, I mean, it does sell better. And that's what I've like internally had that conversation with myself. Like, well, even if I don't model it and then it just doesn't sell, then it's not worth my time either. Like it's not worth as much, but if I'm not modeling it, then because I don't do stock photos. And so I think that's why like I started modeling because I'm like, I can't compete with these stock photos because it's on, like it's on a real person with professional lighting.
Kind of model.
Yes, right. With professional lighting and a photographer. And so like I'm competing with that anyway. Yeah. But all right. Well, good topic of conversation. Let's get into mom life type things. What platforms do you sell on? Did you mention that in the beginning?
I'm on eBay. eBay is my first platform. I just literally started selling my grandfather's coins and was like, oh, I like this. This is fun. And let me sell random stuff around my house. And then it just kind of expanded into a reselling business where I mostly sell clothes. And then one of my friends, Lucretia, who might be here, I can't see the YouTube, so I can't tell if she's here or not. But
do you know her name?
Lulu Hatter.
Yeah, she's here.
Hey. So
I made it.
Okay. So she convinced me to get on Poshmark. So I've only been on Poshmark since November. I haven't even been on Poshmark for a year. And I was anti-Poshmark because I thought it was mostly like social media. Like I thought you had to be super active, kind of like how a new Posher doesn't know which things you should be focused on and which things you shouldn't. Yeah. So I started Poshmark, love Poshmark now. But I love eBay more. Sorry, Poshmark. And I'm on Mercari now too.
How's that going for you?
So I've heard from multiple people, multiple sources that Mercari is good if you relist. So if you have Vendu or maybe List, I'm on Vendu, so I don't know, but aren't you on List Perfectly? Can you relist on List Perfectly?
Yeah, you just mark it as sold and then list it again.
And then list it again. So I've heard that the way to sell on Mercari is just relist.
So that's kind of like triggering their algorithm. Because there's like different things, like Poshmark, you have to do different things. And eBay, this whole like list and forget it is a lie. You have to do, I mean, you don't do the things that you do on Poshmark, but you still have to do things, like you still have to put time and figure out their algorithm. And when people keep telling me like, just put on Mercari and you don't have to do anything. And I'm like, lies.
Well, it won't sell, no. Actually, so I live near the Posh Kings. They live actually like an hour south of me. And before COVID, I did my last like bins trip and I ran into them there and I was all like.
At the bins?
At the bins.
I didn't think they went to the bins. That's interesting.
I saw them at the bins, and at least in Palm Beach County, they were at the bins. I don't know if they're there, but so then I was like fangirling, and I'm like, I'm not staring at you. Like, I know who you are. So we were just chatting, and they definitely suggested like they said Mercari is all about relisting, relist. That's the way to make sales on Mercari.
Like after how long? So because you want it to be like just in, is that what it? I'm not even on the app like as a consumer, so I don't even know what it looks like.
So I didn't ask too many questions because I didn't they were shopping too. So I didn't want to be rude, but I relist it seems like, you know how on Poshmark you can share your stuff and it boosts it back up? Well, on Mercari, there's really no way to get a boost unless you drop your price. And also they can only send like a certain percentage of offers. They can't send like any offer. It's much harder to send any offer. They can only send like a certain percentage off. So you have to be a little more strategic.
I've heard that. Yes, I've heard that.
So what I did on Mercari, actually, because I don't know if you're familiar with Hyper SoCal Posh on Instagram, but she just created a new strategy for relisting. Basically, she uses Vendu, but you can, obviously you can do it on a different site like List Perfectly or just manually relist. And she explains Mercari in really simple terms, and it really is just relist, relist, relist. So I actually dropped prices on Mercari to like close to my actual, like what I would really want to sell it for. And then I did that yesterday, and I actually made like 3 sales like yesterday.
So I wonder if that bumps it too. Cause I mean, that sounds similar to Poshmark. Mine is like all the sharing and stuff, but on Poshmark, like if you send an offer, you'll notice that you'll start getting more views on it. Like you'll start getting likes randomly again. If you drop the price, it does it as well. And then, I mean, a lot of people are big on relisting because then it makes it just in again. So that's good to know. I can't do another thing right now, but I am getting all the tips so that when I am on Mercari, if I go out to Mercari,
I just do it because it's easy to, if I'm already doing Vendu and I'm doing eBay to Poshmark, it's easy to add Mercari. And the way I thought about it too was because I wasn't cross-posting using a cross-posting platform before, but I thought, okay, well, if Mercari can pay for Vendu, then it's worth it. Well, it by far pays for it. I mean, it's just not as consistent. I haven't figured that out. Some people are probably super consistent on Mercari and have a great strategy and they're killing it there. Mine's up and down, but I mean,
it's like an added bonus. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm, making money, and they take less commission. They only take 10%.
Yes, that's what I've heard too. So split out between, so you're on the 3 platforms. What would you say your percentage is? You have the dashboard, so you probably know close to how much?
It's
like
been a while since I've touched my dashboard, but I have the dashboard. And I have so much more information. Well, eBay doesn't give you like your whole background, but based on what I'm shipping, I ship on eBay. I'm shipping every single day. I'm shipping 1 to 5 packages on eBay. Poshmark, it definitely depends on how much I share. And, but I'm making sales each week on Poshmark, not necessarily like a daily sale. But I know that that's because I'm not sharing as often.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Cause that puts it to the top. So would you say Poshmark is still above Mercari or?
Oh yeah. Poshmark's way above Mercari. It's like eBay, Poshmark, Mercari. But I've made, gosh, I should look and see how much I've made on Mercari, but it's
enough to make it worth your time, but not like your boozy.
In a few months I've made almost $1,000. I haven't made 1,000, but I've made almost 1,000.
Yeah.
I think since, did I start in like February? So it's not a ton of money. I mean, it's low, but
I mean, to your point, if you're using Vendu and you already have the item and you're already doing it on Vendu, it probably adds like another 30 seconds to a minute to do it onto another platform. The thing that I struggle with is I go back and forth between List Perfectly and a lister right now because I'm trying to like really ramp up my listings. I'm using a lister. So then I have to pay her to list on another platform. And that's where I'm like, I don't know that it's worth my time to pay an additional for each item. But maybe because I do have List Perfectly still and I go back and forth. So maybe that's something I could just spend my time doing.
Well,
and
I think this could be a good like mom topic too, or it doesn't have to just be mom, but it could be like someone during coronavirus who has some other thing they're dealing with, like a parent or someone sick or just something, about like where to spend our time.
Yes.
Because I've been thinking about that a lot. And I feel like a lot of people are. I saw like Breezy Von Breezy sold all of her non-vintage. Logan from Junk Food, like basically decided she's changing her direction too. And I'm sure they're not the only 2. They're just the 2 that I like communicate this. I've noticed a lot that they're changing direction. Like Sarah, have you noticed people kind of?
Yeah, no, I think you have a valid point, and I think something that's coming out of the COVID too is if you had something broken or that wasn't working well, it's escalated right now. Because before it could have been like kind of, shifted in with everything else and you didn't notice it. But during COVID, one, you couldn't source. And so I think a lot of people were spending more time looking at their business model and what was working. And then if you had something that was broken and sales went down or whatever, you're like, okay, I'm not like, I don't know Breezy's story. I did see that she did that. She moved too. So I think
I don't know the whole behind the scenes.
But I would guess that she's I am pretty good friends with her and she's very business savvy. So I'm sure that she did it because maybe she was selling it before, but then with COVID, it was like, okay, this is just not where my business needs to go right now. And I have seen a lot of that. And I think the time perspective is an important thing. And this is something that I've talked to a lot of people and there's different models. I think you can have a big store, like the more items that you have, they're going to sell, right? Like if you have 50,000 items and you only are selling 10%, you're still selling like 5,000, right? But I think for moms, and at least for me, and maybe you can speak to it differently, for me and other moms that I've talked to, it's easier for me to do things around the house with the kids than it is for me to source. So having a higher sell-through rate is actually easier for me because I can sit there and I can cross list, or I can sit there and I can share it's boring, but like I can be on Poshmark all day. I can't go out and find 50,000 items. And so I think it's a different model that a lot of moms are probably doing because you can do stuff, especially right now. But in general, it's easier to do certain things with kids, right?
Yeah, I can't source with my boys. I know some people can source with their kids. I've never taken them. It would be miserable. I wouldn't be able to concentrate. I would 100% have to give them a device. And I have twins. Where am I going to put them both in a cart? Like it just doesn't even, it just seems miserable. Like I kind of like to zone out when I thrift.
It's therapeutic. Yeah, I've taken them once or twice and I'm like, we're all crying. Like myself included. Like this is just not enjoyable. Michelle is saying, do your boys still nap? Because Michelle's saying a lot of times I do all my pictures or listing information when my little is sleeping early in the AM and after she goes to bed. That tends to be a lot of moms. And then it's hard. I don't know how moms do it. It's hard. Your boys don't.
Like what Michelle said too, mine don't nap, and mine are up at 6 a.m. no matter what time they go to bed. So we have early bedtimes. But I mean, honestly, like in the morning, they do like worksheets because I have some worksheets from when they were in school. So we just do worksheets so I can ship. And then I put on a Disney movie most days so that I have like an hour. Disney movies are too short in some ways. I wish they were a little longer. So I have at least an hour to like either photograph or get things listed. And then, when they go to bed, but I don't like to go to bed really late. Like I'm a morning person, so it's hard for me to.
And you've had a long day taking care of kids that are exhausting. Like as moms, we don't get breaks. You don't get 15-minute paid. Like you don't get lunch hour to yourself. My husband, he's working from home now because of all this, but before he would be home and be like, why are you standing in the kitchen eating and not like sitting at the table? I'm like, because if I sit at the table, they're touching me. Like if I stand in the kitchen away from them, like this is my break, even though they're right there and talking to me or whatever. But like, and so by the end of the day, you've already worked 11 hours, depending on if you have a partner that comes home and helps.
I mean, I do, but he's working from home now. So like at 6 p.m. it's like tag and I like disappear because it's my only time I've been alone since 6 a.m. Right. It's tiring. So he helps.
Yes. And so doing it at night is not, although I will say, so last night, my mom asked, today they have a pool that opened up. We were chatting about this before. And she asked me if we wanted to go swimming today. And this is the nice thing about working from home and being a mom, because she was like, do you want to go swimming today? It asked me last night and I was like, yeah, sure. That would be fun. Kids would like it. We went, there was not a lot of people. Like it was very safe. I felt okay to get the kids out. But then I was like, okay, it's 9 o'clock at night. When she asked me, I'm going to go downstairs and do the work that I would have done in the morning.
Right.
Because otherwise I had planned to do it in the morning and then we would have gone swimming and then I would have been stressed and we wouldn't have enjoyed it. something that I would have taken me an hour and a half to do with the kids, it took me 20 minutes. So I was like, well, maybe I should just work at 9 o'clock every night and I would like bang it out because I'm not trying to also manage children.
But
it
that's
was
hard.
tiring.
That's hard because it's tiring. You just did your full day. Yeah. I try to do a lot on the weekends. I can't imagine. I don't know if we have any single moms who are here, but like, I don't know how you guys do it unless you actually get time away from the kids.
Drama-free. Yeah, drama-free mama is a single mom. I'll let her chop in. Her kids are a bit older though, and are to the age where they're like helping her. She's been on my channel for other things, so I know that. Yeah, single moms, I don't know. Just
Not
in general, not reselling, but just in general. Yeah.
In general, it's hard, but like right now, I'm like, I'm losing my mind and I have someone helping me. Like, I can't imagine. And then I say this, but like you do what you have to do. So I know that the single moms, they're probably kicking more ass than we are.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's hard. It's hard no matter what because of that timing, the time away from your kids to just get a little bit done uninterrupted.
Yes. And they don't kids don't, and I love them to death. I don't want this to be a bitch fest about our kids, but they don't stop. Like they don't realize that you're getting frustrated and that it's just this constant, my husband will come down and he's working from home now. So it's actually really helpful because if he's not on meetings, he'll leave his office door open and then he tries to help manage as well. But before when he was coming home, he'd get home at 5 o'clock and he's like, your daughter is saying your name 17 times. Why are you not answering? And I'm like, because that's time number 100 million that I've heard it today. And it's probably just to tell me that, she painted her nails pink or something that doesn't have anything to do with anything. All right. So let's talk a little bit about scheduling. I mean, you mentioned it a little bit. What does your normal type day look like?
So first thing in the morning on a weekday, because they know that there's no school on the weekends, the boys do worksheets in my room. I bought them these lap desks. So they literally sit on my bed and they have this task list they have to do. It's like make your bed, brush your teeth, 5 work, get dressed, do 5 worksheets, a writing assignment. It's I can swim, very simple stuff.
But they'll sit down and do it.
They're really good boys.
Oh, yeah.
And
especially the two of them. I'm just imagining the two of them stop, get away from that's what my kids
would have their own lap desk. And then anytime there's an issue, I'm like, well, then maybe you won't watch the movie later today. But so while they're doing that, literally they're practically within arm's reach. You can't see, but I'm reaching out towards where they would be sitting in my bed. I'm shipping. So I'm in and out of the room doing the shipping stuff because I don't have, we have a 3-bedroom house and I don't have a space for my stuff. We don't have basements in Florida. I'm so jealous of people who have basements at the moment. It would be
so glorious. Yeah.
I wish we had one, but they don't exist in Florida. And so we do have our hallway closet is this huge wall of closet. So that is my space. And then I have my room. I try to hide stuff, but it happens. So I ship first thing in the morning and then I do relisting. If you're familiar with eBay, you know that you end and sell similar. So I check and see which things are ending. I end and sell similar in the morning.
All of your items that are ending, you sell them similar?
Not all of them. So if I have 10 items, I have about 350 items in my eBay at the moment. And so maybe I have 10 ending. I look and see okay, have they been listed for 30 days, 60 days? How long have they been listed? And then the ones that don't have a lot of action, or if they have a lot of action, but they haven't sold, I'll end and sell similar and change the price by $1 or $2. Sometimes actually raising the price that sells.
I've heard that. Yeah. Someone else told me, especially someone was if you have a lot of watchers on an item, try and raise the price and then you might. I'm like, really? That seems weird. But she said, yeah.
It's just activity on your stuff. So I do that. And then that's my top priority. And then if they're still being good. Oh, so after that, then they get Chromebook time. They go on ABC Mouse or whatever. So they get a little bit of time. So then I'm like, okay, maybe I can list a couple things or flat lay shots, but that's not a very long time. And then we go outside and play, we have lunch. I really have like no time until the afternoon because we're just doing things. Oh, but while we're doing things, I'm like editing photos on my phone, or okay, I have a quick minute. I like run in and share for my computer to Poshmark.
When they're playing well. And that's kind of what I feel like. I have a laundry list of things to get done, and mine is like more for the week, because some days like it's just not happening and you have to like take a break and be like, this is just not the day to get work done. But I have a laundry list and I'm like, oh, they're playing really well, I'm gonna hop inside for a little bit. And sometimes it lasts 10 minutes and sometimes it lasts like an hour, and it's glorious. So I want to talk a little bit about shipping, because I feel like you probably have some pretty efficient ways if you're shipping while you're doing it with the boys, because that's something that you do every day.
Yeah.
Right. So what is your process to ship?
So, I mean, like, I do the bulk shipping on eBay. Do you do the bulk shipping?
I did. Chris told me to do that, and it is glorious. I now much prefer, I hated shipping on eBay, and I much prefer it now than Poshmark, because you don't have to click every single item. Really it saves a lot of time. Yeah.
So I lay my things out. Okay. So we also have a puppy who's really big. I know, we didn't know COVID was coming about our puppy. So
yeah, right.
At least he doesn't shed, but like he's a golden doodle, so he's just this big like puppy. So I'm like, get out of the room so I can ship. Because he'll just walk all over my stuff, and it's all in packages, and it's safe. But I'm like, I don't want anything in it.
Do you have it like all numbered? So it's in packages. So do you do like a numbering system to pull it and everything?
So I don't, but I do it by category. So that's how I started. And at some point I might switch over, but it kind of depends on how much inventory I have. So I have like short sleeve tops, long sleeve tops, dresses.
Oh, so then you have to go through and find that one.
And then I go through and I pull it. It works. I know it's probably not as efficient as some other thing, but it feels daunting to redo my inventory.
And you have to redo it.
Yeah, I know some people will say you don't have to redo it. You can just start from where you are. But I would have to redo it. Like
you would, I would. I'm like, we'll just start. Because that's kind of what I was similar, where I still had numbers on it, but it was like dresses by numbers and pants, and it still get like kind of confusing and take me longer. And so recently, probably like the last couple of months, I've just started. I just got these on Amazon because I was writing it because I'm cheap, and I was like, I don't want to spend money on it, but I was writing it and I'm like, that's taking time. And so now I have these, and it has that and the bulk editing, and I got a thermal printer, have made my shipping like in half. Like I used to dread shipping, and now I can ship an item in 2 minutes. So I can do 10 items in 20 minutes.
You're probably way more efficient because you can find the items more easily. I have to like figure out where the bin is, and it's definitely more work, but I haven't taken that leap yet. I know I need to, but
no, whatever works for you. I'm just asking because it is. I used to hate shipping, and now I'm like, well, I don't like if it takes me 2 minutes, and I used to hate shipping because it would be like, oh shit, am I gonna find it? Especially on eBay, like the panic that you have when you can't find it and it's not where you thought it was. And now it's just part of the reason I had to do this too is I got a legit lister, and she was like, I need to know, like, we need to be organized. And I was like, okay, fine.
I'm still a one-woman show, so I don't. It doesn't matter as much to
get you in line.
Yeah, but it is pretty quick to ship. I just literally like lay all the stuff out on the floor. The boys are sitting on my bed doing their work, and I just pull all the things. And then, because you're selling on eBay and Poshmark only, right?
I'm on Etsy, but I don't have.
Okay, so you don't have as many sales there, but you're pulling from 2 different sites. So I'm interested in hearing from other people too. But on Mercari, I ship both through them and on my own, depending on the weight of the item. I was shipping all on my own using Pirate Ship, but I was losing my mind having to manually make the labels every time. And with COVID, I just didn't have those extra minutes. I'd rather just lose a tiny bit of money that way.
That makes sense, because I've had, you can do it on eBay too, but I would rather spend $1, even if it's like $1. I'm like, I don't have the time to spend, and I am not an organized person by trait, which is why like you see me overcompensate, because I know I'm a hot mess, like if it were up to my own devices. And so I have to overcompensate, and I would absolutely send things to the wrong place and get confused if I had to do it all. Like I can print it, like eBay's already done it for me.
Right.
But if anyone has any suggestions for Mercari in the chat, let us know what you guys do. Because how much cheaper? I mean,
so
what are you talking?
For Mercari, I mean, it's not that much cheaper, but like if you know eBay prices, you know it's like 3 something for a top, depending on where it's going. If it's going from Florida to California, maybe it's like $5 for the top. And on Mercari, they're more like set prices. But they give you the label, and I don't have to do pirate ship. But then I use pirate ship when the item is like a pound or over, because then I know I can ship it cheaper that way.
Yeah, and that's what Drama Free Mama is saying. I use pirate ship for big, heavy items. It saves me money. But then, so I wonder,
do you do that also on eBay? Does she?
Oh, I can.
Pirate ship?
Mama, do you use pirate ship? You can do your own tracking on eBay, but then you have to update it on eBay and everything too.
I'm wondering if it saves enough money. I just use eBay, so I'm interested in hearing.
Oh yeah, I'll see what she says, because you can't. You can't see the comments?
I can see when it pops up. You have that great little pop up on the bottom.
Yeah, on the side of the chat, can you see? It'll say private, but then there's also like a public.
I see it now.
Okay.
Oh, she uses it for eBay. Okay.
But I can pop it up. If there's a comment, I can pop it up too. So
I can see it now. Okay.
Yeah, I use pirate ship. Michelle's saying she used pirate ship.
Okay. Right.
Valerie was saying, I'm on Posh and Mercari. I only ship on my own for things that will fit in a flat rate envelope. Otherwise, I just set the shipping at $4.99 or free.
That's what I'm trying to do. So then I'm interested actually in knowing, do you guys ship things that don't fit in a flat rate on Mercari? Because I feel like as shipping gets more expensive on Mercari, it's a little more complicated to use Mercari.
Is it, so I'm interested in learning too, because I don't know anything. So if it's cheaper to send it in a flat rate, if it's over a pound.
On pirate ship.
On pirate ship. Oh, so how much is it pirate ship for Mercari?
Well, pirate ship is like the normal price you'd pay on eBay for the flat rate, I think.
Oh, okay. So it's like a discount similar. Yeah.
But Mercari, when you're shipping more, it goes to USPS is like $11.99, which nobody pays, or maybe just for the item I was looking at. And I'm like, no, it fits in a flat rate. So why would I ever do $11.99?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Calculate. Well, it depends on which it weighs. Yeah, that's FedEx.
Okay, but then you drop it off.
I don't know.
FedEx. Okay, that's good. That's good to know that maybe I can Mercari $9.99. But
where are you reading this? Where did you read?
I see the pop-ups now on the right, or it's on the right on mine. Okay.
Oh, I know, but I don't know what you're reading. I want to put it on the screen too. For shoes, I use Mercari $9.99, but offer it free.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, love flat rate envelopes. Shove all I can in those. I can get a lot into flat rates. And then
Drama Free Mama. Lots of shoes. Drama Free Mama said that she puts stuff on FedEx. So that's interesting. Okay, this is helpful.
Oh, is FedEx cheaper? Yeah.
I haven't used the third parties, like the other FedEx or UPS.
But it's time. I mean, it is time consuming, to your point. Like, is it worth the time? I mean, how much are you saving? But part of that too is like, what is your profit margin? Are you selling like, and this is the thing, like if I'm selling a $75 Coach purse, I'm like, I don't care, like take $1 out of my profit. But if it's like a $15 something, I'm like, no, I'm gonna hold on to that extra 35 cents, right?
Yeah, I know. Mercari is just more complicated because then you have the free shipping issue, and I kind of wish they either did what eBay, or I mean, I guess they kind of do what eBay does, but it's not as sophisticated.
Yeah, I've heard. So I had a Mercari versus Poshmark chat the other day, and it kind of sounded in talking with the people that it was like eBay and Poshmark had a baby, where it's kind of easy like Poshmark is, but then you have some of the nicer features with eBay. But I think what's hard is eBay is so complex because it's nice to have all of those extra features, right? Like to be able to choose all that, but then that's what makes it more complex. Michelle is saying I've used UPS and FedEx on large items because they have been cheaper.
I might have to play around with that. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
helpful.
All right. Let's see. So I think you've mentioned it, so maybe we can talk about a couple other things. But one thing or multiple things that you couldn't live without as a reselling mom, what allows you to be able to get it all done?
Okay, so I've definitely mentioned Disney Plus. I'm not even joking. I know it sounds silly, but like that's my only time, my Disney Plus time. You guys,
Yeah, you have to.
like I need it. I need 1 hour of uninterrupted time during the day. And then for me, it's Vendu. I was so against having a cross posting, like paying for a cross posting site. I was just like, no, I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. And I just was like, fine, if Mercari pays for it, I'll continue it. And like, whew, I mean, I love it. I absolutely love having it. And, you know, like I don't pay a VA. I share my own stuff. I don't pay for other things. So it was my first like kind of.
It's glorious. And I will say, we have Disney Plus, but I don't actually, it's like on our TV. They have like their own little Amazon Fires. And I don't like, I don't know. I think there's a lot. I don't want to necessarily say mom shaming, but like we are stuck with our kids all day. And if they get to watch a video for you to get an hour to yourself, like
Right.
have at it. You're not like showing them Jurassic Park at 5 or like sending them out into the, like, it's fine. Don't feel guilty about it. It is what it is to get your hour. And I actually usually do it to have my own time. I'm like, this is my time too. I'm going to watch a show. I usually do it.
That's so funny because I'm like, I'm not wasting my hour then. After lunch, or I'm like, do you guys want to go in the pool? Because we don't have a pool in our backyard, but I bought an above ground pool at the beginning of COVID. So we have this like 8-foot by 2-foot pool on our porch. Yeah. So I'm like, you guys want to go in the pool? And then I can drink my coffee and relax on the porch. Like I try to use that time, but no, my own shows, those have gone down the tubes. I'm so far behind. Don't talk about 90 Day Fiance. I'm behind.
I actually haven't watched that one. I know we like similar shows. That one has not made. I'm watching Ozark right now. I don't know. Have you watched Ozark?
It's on my list, but I haven't.
It's intense. I usually watch it before bed, and then I'm like, I should not watch this before bed. I'm at season 3, and it like gets worse and worse. Like not worse, but like more intense and.
Wait, do you see what Miscellaneous just wrote? She said that her kids won't sit still for the hour. Oh, that's hard. How old is your younger one?
I think she has a 2-year-old.
Oh, that's
fine. Oh, yes. Well, she has older ones, but then, and that's my 3-year-old is just getting to the point where maybe for a half hour he will do something. And the entire time because he has a tablet. So the entire time he's watching it, he's like hanging upside down and like like he's moving the entire time.
Okay, she's almost 4.
Oh, I was thinking she was younger than that. I guess they're close in age.
But I think that's probably another thing too. Like you and I have some younger ones, and I bet that moms who have slightly older ones have other tricks that we don't need. I feel like I'm super lucky that my boys like to hang out with each other and that they're also 5 years old, so they can. Like unless they napped, it would be great. But I couldn't imagine having like 2-year-olds right now who literally couldn't do anything without me. Like that would, I don't know how I'd have a business.
How long have you been were you reselling when they were little, or it's just recent?
Yeah, but it wasn't, I was like casually reselling, and then I got more serious as they got older because I was trying not to lose my mind. I think I started reselling when they were like 1 or something. And then it was just a really slow progression, which is kind of why eBay is so good for me, I think, because I have been doing it for so many years before I got serious with it. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people in the chat. So 2-year-olds, 2-year-olds, 2-year-olds. 2-year-olds are hard. My youngest just turned 3 in April. And what's nice, so we just moved. What's nice, and I'm actually getting more work done, it's been glorious, is my office now is on the main floor. And so I can hear them, where before I was in the basement and I was like, I cannot trust my 2-year-old in my house when I'm in the basement. So like I wasn't able to work a whole lot. And now I can keep the back door open and hear them playing in the backyard. And thankfully my 5-year-old is a tattletale and will come and tell me, Logan's not doing what he should be doing, you know, and like they'll come and tell me, but I can hear them in an earshot. I do have I have a 14-year-old too. But he is a 14-year-old and stays in the basement to himself. Like, I mean, he's whatever. And he's not, so I'm interested in people who have older kids who are like more social. He's autistic, and so he's not social like at all, which COVID would be really hard because most 14-year-olds are probably like, I want to go play with my friends, I want to go do this, and he's just not, which is, I mean, it's great as a parent. But yeah, I bet older people have, like, they want to go do things and you have to like take them to movies with their friends and like be more active in a different way.
Different challenges with COVID at different ages, because I mean, you see the comments, there are people saying that they have these 2-year-olds and they literally have to keep them out of.
That's all you do.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And you can't, they cannot be trusted. My 3-year-old is slowly getting there, but 1 and 2, I think they're all really hard, but it's hard because you have to constantly be watching them. When they're itty bitty babies, I baby wore. And so like, I would just strap them on my back. Like, I know you're safe, you're in a carrier, like, let's go about my business. And I would take them sourcing when I would have them in the carrier. But once I wanted to not be in that anymore, it was hard.
I had 2. I was not baby wearing. That was not happening.
Oh, yes, tandem. Yeah, I've done that once or twice when they were both little, like on a hike, but not on a normal basis. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, that is my same struggle, Sarah. My reselling stuff is in the basement. I need to be on the main floor. However, we do not have any rooms on the main floor. Yes, that, I think, as we're having this conversation, is why I've been able to start working more, because we moved and I have my office. My inventory is all in the basement. So when I ship, I'm out of, ear's reach, but my husband's been home.
When do you ship then?
I've actually been doing I used to do, when they were in school, I used to do at night because I would want to set it out in the morning before they went to school, because I do pickup. And our old postman would come in the morning. So I wanted to make sure that it was set out before I took them to school. Now that they're not in school and our new postman doesn't come until like 3 or 4 o'clock, I usually ship like at lunch. So I'll usually make like a shake or something, and my husband will be having lunch. So he'll hang with them and then I'll go do shipping.
So that's when I disappear and watch a TV show for like 10 minutes. I'm like, oh, my husband's eating lunch and so are they. Like, I'm gone.
See, so I find ways to get stuff done when I can too. We all have to find the ways to get it in. And I will say, when I watch a show, when they're watching the show, I am usually on my computer doing Sell Similar on eBay or doing followers on Poshmark. Like, I'm also still working.
A show. Don't feel guilty. I just do that.
No.
You can do that.
I'm just saying, like, I am also usually still doing things. Or today I took a nap because what happened? Oh, my husband's alarm went off this morning and I couldn't fall back asleep. But he didn't get up. I was like, come on, dude. All right. So you have 20 minutes to spend on reselling. That's it. For the whole entire day, what would you do?
So I have a personal goal. Literally since February, I have been listing at least 4 items, new items every single day. I think I've missed like 4 days since February, which, by the way, I'm not writing out listings every day. I try to batch draft and then I make live, because obviously there's some days I can't do anything.
Yes.
So if I only have 20 minutes, I make sure that I have 4 listings. I don't always have them. Like, so I make sure that I have my listings. I try to draft. And if I have things, it's really list. If I can list, I try to list, or maybe I'll share my closet.
Yeah, but you're big on eBay, so listing is probably going to be the most important. Like, that's the thing on eBay.
Which is why I probably don't sell as much on Poshmark, because my priority is to make sure my listings are up, and make sure my listings are up on eBay. I have a lot I still need to cross post from Vendu over to Poshmark, but time.
I mean, 4 is really, a lot. And sourcing, how do you find time to source 4 new items? I mean, that's a lot. Are you doing online sourcing and stuff now? Are you guys' stores open?
They're open, but I'm on the like terrified side of everything. Mm-hmm. However, remember when it was big to post on Facebook, like, hey, I'll take your donations. I'll take your donations.
Yeah.
So I obviously took a bunch of donations, and my cousin still drops things off randomly at my front door. But a reseller had reached out to me, like a local one who's no longer reselling, and she passed me on to a resale shop that was trying to get rid of inventory for cheaper than bins prices. Our bins prices are I think they're $1.99. Oh my gosh. Lucretia will tell me if I'm wrong now. I forgot because I haven't been to the bins in so long. But if you
A pound.
A pound, yeah. And then if
Are
you
they like 149 or 169?
everyone's are cheaper
Maybe.
than ours. They're 169 if you get 25 pounds, and you have to have like an 11-pound minimum. So this
Oh yeah, we don't have that.
this local resale shop was selling boxes. Lucretia actually bought one too, but she didn't like hers as much as I liked mine. So I bought some boxes. It ended up being 83 cents an item. So
Damn.
I know I'm going to get more this week. I bought like $100.
So is this like an ongoing thing, like forever? Like it's an ongoing
No.
relationship?
They had a program. They had this really great program where they were helping women who could not find jobs based on like their past. They didn't have skills. And unfortunately, because of COVID, that no longer exists, but they have all this inventory where they were teaching them how to use eBay. So I'm like, can I buy? And I also know I'm lucky that I'm able to invest $200 in inventory at once. So yeah. And then right before,
that's amazing.
yeah, I mean, I'm really lucky that I have this resource. But also I think I'm not afraid of liquidation. I know that it's not necessarily, I mean, if somebody can figure out how to get great liquidation, clothing liquidation, and make a huge profit on it, I'm so happy for you. But like, I can't when I
Have you done it?
Like liquidation boxes. I got like a Macy's Juniors one. They're small profits, but like it's still inventory moving.
Yeah.
I just haven't been able to find, like, I don't know, people have these like free people stuff. I'm like, how much did you pay for that? Are you making a profit? I'm just curious. Like some people.
It's an interesting world, and I've had a couple of people on talking about it, but I find like it's very secretive. Like the good ones, which for good reason, right? But like the good ones, like no one is talking about, or they'll like show you their box on YouTube or whatever, but then they don't tell you how they got it, right?
You don't even have to tell me. I'm more interested, like, how much did you pay for that? Like, and I get it. They don't want to tell you because then that's their cost of goods, and that I understand. And they have this profit, but it is interesting from like the business aspect. Like,
yeah.
Are you making a good profit on this, or are you spending $20 on this free people piece that you're selling for $40? So you're still making a $20 profit, but
I think, in the people that I've talked to, your profit is going to be much less, like the margin is much less than a thrift store, but you are saving time, like you're not having to go out and source.
Right.
So like but I think it depends on what you get too, because sometimes it just sits and then you're stuck with all of this inventory and the amount of time that it takes to go through it. Like a pallet's a lot of inventory for one person to go through. I will say though, so I've been working with Chris, and he's bright. Like I just thrifted, and that's something that COVID has helped too. Like I hadn't thought about doing anything other than thrifting. I was like, well, I'm just a thrifter. Like that's what I do. That's what I would have continued doing that my entire life and just lived in my little like happy bubble. But it's kind of forced me to go outside and find different ways to source, and it's really nice to not like I used to go sourcing almost every Saturday morning, and now I'm not having to do that as often, and I can list for 4 hours on a Saturday morning. Like so I think that's part of the liquidation or getting it from other places, that you get that time back. So maybe you're not making as much of a profit, but you're also getting all that time back, right?
Yeah, I agree. I also bought I know there's mixed reviews, and I have mixed reviews on it too, but like a box from that Jomar stores, and and I got a lot of bread and butter brands, not making me huge profits, but I'm not losing money on any of the items. And yeah, I mean, I don't have to go out and thrift it. So it's a
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Is like all still because our stores are open, but the inventory isn't great. They can't process the extent that they used to because they don't have as many people in the store because of the regulations. Um, and so I'm still going to go out, but I think I'm going to have to just find ways to get lower profit type items just to have things in the store to go, and then try and like I would love to have all my purses that I used to have all the time. And I can't find them now, so I'll have to get those every once in a while, and then just find other ways that are it's likely going to be lower profit type
Well,
items.
I mean, I definitely want, I know not everybody is on eBay, but you guys should be looking at eBay for sourcing opportunities. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
It is so surprising to me the high end things you can find on eBay that someone's like, there's a stain, and you look at it, and if you're a thrifter, you know, like a topical stain versus
Yeah.
like a stain. And I got something for $5 that it hasn't sold yet because I sent it to ThreadUp. But like the potential is really high. I mean, I'll make my $5 back. I'll make a good
Yeah.
profit on it. But they're like, it's a stain. Someone else, like high-end dress that I think I paid $8 for, and the straps had just been like sewn down, but I just took a seam ripper and unripped it, and the strap was like perfect. I mean,
Yeah, stuff at you. Yeah.
yeah, you have to
Well,
look. You're gonna get junk that way too. But I mean, there's some really good high-end things.
I think that's a valid point too. And a lot of people with staying home with COVID, it has kind of made it a little bit harder for us too because it's becoming oversaturated. People are like, oh, I lost my job. I'm going to clean out my closet. Mercari is like any YouTuber that you watch that has ads on, like Mercari is going to be one of their ads. They are like killing it with the promotions. So it's getting a lot of new people that don't necessarily know what they're doing. I just bought stuff today on Poshmark to flip. I sold something yesterday, like a Coach purse I paid $10 for and sold it for 80.
Great.
Um, and what's nice about it too, for moms or people who are busy, I can do that at home. Like I could do that at bed or during nap time,
Mhm.
or like I don't need childcare for it. So I think it is. I mean, that's a good.
Well, Courtney on Posh, she's like a teacher full time when there's no COVID,
Mhm.
and she maybe not only, but she primarily online sourced. When like the kids weren't in the room, she'd pull up her phone or computer and online source, and she has
Oh, really?
Courtney on Posh.
Courtney on Posh? Becky on
Courtney,
Posh. Oh, Courtney. I don't
Courtney,
know.
she has like if you watch some of her YouTube videos, she has like full strategies on how to online source. She's a pro. I am not a pro at online sourcing. She's
Yeah.
definitely the pro, but she's like inspirational in her online sourcing. But I don't want to spend a lot on the majority of my items, and I like to touch my items
Yeah.
too.
It's hard. It's a different type of sourcing for sure.
Yeah.
And you do have to pay up. Like it's not definitely not bins prices. And even then, because you have to factor in shipping and you have to but I also look at it from a time perspective. Like I've only bought a couple of things. I haven't like bought massive amounts. But those are all things that you have to factor in. We are wrapping up. I didn't think that we would make it. We were supposed to have another person on. And I was like, we will have enough to chat about. Of course we will.
I never shut up. So.
Yeah. If you have, I mean, if you have any other time saving tips or something that you think that would help just anyone in general to help you get it done and manage all of the things while you're also managing a house, if there's anything else.
Well, I mean, I'm definitely not getting it all done. Laundry sat on one of our couches. It was clean, but sat on a couch for like 3 weeks, and we just pulled from that pile. But I do have to say, like, don't give up and don't get frustrated, because right now this is not a normal time. We have like in our lifetime, we have never had this, but we have more opportunity for growth and for changing our business than anybody. And, don't get nervous when people say things like, oh, ThreadUp is now selling to Walmart. That is a great thing. Buy the stuff that Walmart is buying from ThreadUp and send it to ThreadUp. Like these are really good, positive things. And, people are finding great things at the thrift store. I'm not going thrifting and I'm just trying to be positive. Like that's okay. I'm glad they're finding the good things. I'm going to find good things when I go back thrifting. And
Yeah.
it's the long game, some people, and of course, like if you need this to pay your bills, like right now, I mean, that's a different story, but I just mean like in general, don't worry if right now you're on a roller coaster. It is going to get back to whatever the new normal is. And I think we're all going to be okay. Just keep doing it. Just keep.
And yes, I think you have very valid points, like staying consistent in whatever capacity that you can do and being willing to pivot. Like, okay, yes, ThredUp and Walmart are working together. How can I use that to my advantage? And how can I make money off of that? I did a call with some other people about like, how do you separate yourself from Walmart, right? Like, some people don't want to buy on Walmart. So maybe work on your branding and say, I'm a small business, like come shop with me instead of, like just instead of just complaining about like all of these new things, find a way. And it is a long game. And if you can make it out on the end of it, you're going to surpass all the people that gave up. Right. I wrote something down and I don't remember. Oh, and I do think it's a valid point too. You do not get it all done. And that is a great thing because you don't, like, I have people that are like, oh, how do you do it all? I'm like, let me show you a picture. Like, I just buy more laundry baskets because I'm like, this is like 3 loads of clean laundry, but now I have no laundry basket to take down the dirty laundry. And instead of folding the clean laundry, I'm just going to go buy some more laundry baskets.
I just dump the clean laundry on the couch and take the basket. But, and on that same note, anyone who says they're getting it all done, they're liars. They are not.
Yes. And I think, and this isn't for everybody, but something that has absolutely helped for me, I am a big proponent of outsourcing. And you do it a little bit to the extent of using Vendu, right? Like it's okay for us not to do it all. From housing stuff to, being a mom and running a house is a full-time job. And then if you're trying to do something on top of that, you're taking on 2 full-time jobs in the same amount of hours. It's okay to I find things that I hate listing. So I was like, I'm gonna pay someone else to do that. Pre-COVID, I hate cleaning my house. So I found someone to do that because I'm like, I hate this. I am going to work enough at my reselling to be able to pay for that.
No, I completely agree. And it may not even be like you're saying within the reselling. I literally just told my mom we were talking this past weekend. My parents live locally and I was like, I am just struggling to get it all done. Can you please, can you send me a meal? Like, can I have dinner for one night? Can you help with that, please? So my mom's like, sure. So she sent me, 2 huge things of meatballs. So then I just had to make the pasta and heat it up. And I'm like, thank goodness, because we're all kind of losing our minds in some way.
Well, and COVID for sure is hard because you don't get a break. I've talked to other people that don't have little kids, and like, well, just like go for a date. And I was like, who? No one's watching my children. Like, I haven't seen my husband without my children in how many months now? And my 3-year-old likes to stay up and party no matter what's happening. He'll stay up till 10 o'clock. And then I'm not watching a show or hanging, like at 10 o'clock, I'm like, peace out. Like, I'm going to bed too. And so it's hard. Or drama-free mom is having your groceries delivered. I did that pre-COVID. Like, I hate going to the grocery store. Costco. Do you guys have a Costco? Costco meals. Costco, but their meals are amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I go there, but like to make meals. Go ahead.
Well, I'm like drama-free mama. I get my groceries delivered, but that is only a COVID thing, because.
Do they not have pickup? Because our grocery stores have pickup. Like they had pre-COVID, you could do pickup.
Yes and no. We don't have, like, Publix is like the Southeastern United States big store. They're getting it, but they don't have it yet. And then Walmart has it, but our local Walmart didn't. They might now. But like my local stores are Publix and Winn-Dixie, and neither of those have it. And Target doesn't do groceries for pickup.
Or Amazon. I've started doing even Amazon Fresh and Amazon Pantry. You can get most of the.
I think we can, but our areas, it's like newer, because our whole is kind of far. We can do it. I haven't tried it.
Yeah, and I find a lot of the stuff is the same price. We have King Supers here, and pre-COVID, not all of the stores, but there's 1 or 2, and I will drive a little bit further, but you just order it online and then you pick it up like in your window. And I did that because I don't like taking the kids to the grocery stores. It's awful. And then I'm like, I don't want to spend my hour when my husband gets home going to the grocery store. Like, that's terrible. So it's okay to not do it. If everyone has any other tips on tips and tricks, I have a robot too, a vacuum robot, which is like, it is. glorious. I highly recommend, and you can get them. I mean, they go up to like $1,000, but we got one on Amazon for like 150 maybe.
And you can even get higher end ones. Ours is a refurbished Roomba. So we have a
Oh,
Roomba, but she's a female. She has a female voice. So sorry. Can you tell?
No, it's okay. We have a name. Ours is named Bruce. And so before
we call her Roomba.
Oh no, we have a name Bruce for Batman because Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what's Batman's name?
Yeah, Bruce Wayne, right? Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I don't know. My husband's a dorky guy. I don't know all of that. But before we go watch our show, that's like we have to clean up so Bruce can clean. It's good. And my 3-year-old loves to turn him on. So that's a good tip too. Well, thank you so much for joining. And thank you everyone in the chat for joining. Make sure to subscribe if you like content like this. I am not going to have my weekly accountability next week. Something else. I'm doing a cultural chat. Megatron. Miscellaneous. I am doing a cultural chat on someone else's channel, so I won't have my accountability next Monday, but it will be the following Monday. So if you want to join, send me a DM for that. Make sure to subscribe if you like content like this, and give a like on your way out. I am going to let everyone in the chat, and then you as well, Rebecca, one more time. Shameless self-promotion. Where can we find you? Anything that you want to shamelessly self-promote before we sign off?
Oh well, Instagram. I'm growing my Instagram, so that would be great. Rebecca from Florida, but it's FL on Instagram.
Cool. So go ahead and follow her, and you can come back after. No, your link is in the description. I think I'm almost positive I put your link in the description. So if you want to follow Rebecca, head or look down in the description, and the link to her Instagram should be down there. So thanks for joining, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you. Bye.